Hey, okay. I wanted to just share a few thoughts that I have been thinking the last few days. And how do we label ourselves? How do you label yourself? And I've really been thinking about this, as I said. And what is a label? A label is usually about so long, and or different sizes, but so long, and they're sticky. And you stick it on something, and most of the time, if it's a good label, it will stick to you. And it will grab hold, and it will cover things if you need it to. It will, in a sense, if it's a cheap package or something, can also strengthen something. But it's a label. And as I said, it can come in different sizes, but it's sticky. So when you stick it to something, it is going to stick. It's going to leave its mark. A label also defines that object. And I wanted to just challenge you today, because I've been challenging myself on this. How do we label ourselves? Truly, honestly, what are the things that we label ourselves with? And I just wanted to encourage you. I've been on this journey for over a year for sure, of honestly renewing your mind, transforming your mind, the biblical principles of renewing your mind. And that starts with how you perceive yourself, how you perceive the Lord, and how you perceive yourself. And I'm not really sure where this came to mind, but in my business, we hear it a lot. How do you label yourself? How do you label someone else? How does that person label themselves? And I'll be honest and tell you, when someone talks to you, you're going to be able to figure out how they label themselves. I use this as a game now. When I talk to somebody or is in a conversation with somebody, just listening to them is going to tell you a whole lot about where they've come from, how they perceive themselves, and what they think of themselves. And I'm going to be honest with you and tell you, a lot of people perceive themselves as victims, that they are a victim to where they are in life, that they don't have much choice in where they are right now in their life. And I just want to come to you and tell you, from the beginning, Adam and Eve, he made us highest of all creatures that he made with the ability to choose. That is the basic difference, eternal souls, that we can choose. And I just wanted to get on here and share and just challenge you quickly to be careful how we label ourselves. Be careful how we think of ourselves, because are we thinking the things that God thinks of us? Are we thinking of ourselves the way that God thinks of us? Are we thinking of others the way that God thinks of them? And because as a label, we have all these labels on us, even though they're invisible. We have them on us. And not all of them are visible to other people, but some of them can be. You will know an insecure person just from the way they handle themselves and the way they talk about themselves, or just the way they talk in general. You will know someone who's confident by the way they handle themselves and the way they talk. You will know someone just who's disrespectful by the way they handle themselves and the way they talk. Those labels some are very bold, but others are layered on. Some are below other labels. And those are kind of the ones that I want to talk about, that they may not be as visible, but they're still there. And I just truly wanted to encourage you in this growth journey that I've been on. We have to peel these labels off of us. I've been reading this book. This is one of them. And I just want to share it with you. If you have not read it, I would encourage you to. Nothing to Prove. And one of the first things she says in there is that God never, ever intended us to prove anything to him, nor to ourselves. That was not why he put us here. And that really just hammered home with me. I'm not here to prove anything to you. I'm not here to prove anything to God, and I'm not here to prove anything to myself. He put us here to have a relationship with us, to love us, to draw us nearer to him, to find ourself in him. That includes our identity, who he looks at us as and who we look at ourselves as, and to bring him glory, to draw others to him. That is our purpose here on earth, not to prove anything. But in that, with going back to the labels, it just really dawned on me that when you have these labels, big, small, however, but they're sticking on something. When you go to peel that thing off, and I'll be honest, especially the longer it's been on there, what happens when you peel the thing off? And you know what happens. Most of the time, you can sit and try to get as big a piece as you can and rip it off, try to get as much, but there's always something left. There's always sticky stuff. And a Band-Aid's a good example of this on yourself, but you'll pull skin. It's red. It leaves its mark, even though it's been gone. And like I said, if it has been on there a long time, it is going to take work to get the thing off. You're going to have to peel it, rub it, get it wet, work to get the thing off. And even when you do, it will still leave that rash mark, that redness from being on there. And I just wanted to share with you, when we're renewing and transforming our mind, that is what it is like. It is like the Lord shining his light on these lies, these labels. And I'm going to tell you, these labels, most of them, are from the enemy himself, directly from hell. And it's sad how we as Christians have planted them on us and on our children. That's very convicting to me as a mom. That we have labeled our kids in some way or another. And we've labeled them through the enemy's perspective. That should be a very convicting thought to us. And just how being in his word, renewing your mind, transforming your mind, truly thinking whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of a good report, whatever things are praiseworthy. Do you think things of yourself that are right? Do you think things of yourself that are of a good report? Do you think things of yourself that are pure and true? I truly believe there is a deeper sense of just thinking about other things that are true and right, because it truly starts in our mind, and how we think about things is going to affect the other things that we think about. How we think about ourselves and our perspective, affects everything else that we think about. And so you can take that and say, what do we think about God that is true? What do you think about God that is pure? Is our thinking that way? Because when we think the things that are true and lovely and good report about God and ourselves, then the other things will slowly fall in place. And that takes time. That takes that peeling. That takes, when you have to remove that, and just that tenderness, that being careful. Sorry, this yucky stuff. You have to take it easy. Or you can just yank the thing off and say, I'm done with this, and you're going to have a sting. And like I said, you'll probably still have some things there. But you will have to replace that with something else. You have to. Otherwise, can come right back to where it was. You have to replace something that has been a lie with something that is truth. You have to do that. It is scientifically proven in your brain that your brain automatically is wired a certain way. It just automatically goes that way. But you can renew it, and that takes work. It takes time, and it's hard. It seriously is like your nerves are like bellowing a whole new route, a whole new railroad to somewhere else, and it's totally new. That's why in the Bible it says you are a new creature, a new creation. The old has gone, the new has come. New means exactly what it means. It says new. It's unfamiliar. You do not know it. When my husband and I go driving, we love to drive around. We like going where it's new. It's like adventurous. It's, oh, isn't that neat? Just nowhere that's familiar. That is new. So when he is renewing you, he is going to take you places that are totally unfamiliar to you, totally uncomfortable to you. That's what new is. And so I was just thinking these things and wanting to share it and put it out here and just say, I truly want to encourage and challenge you. What are you labeling yourself as? What are you labeling your children as? What are you labeling God as? Because I'll tell you something. He is not this judgmental person who is up in heaven just with his fist clenched saying, why do they not listen to me? He is not that hard of a God. That's not who he is. And so many of us Christian-wise even think that of him. And that is what is so sad. I'm seeing how so much of our Christian churches are infiltrated with the enemy's lies of who God is and who we are as people, as individuals. And when we start fixing that and start renewing our minds truly in his word and showing us, ask him, pray to him, Lord, please renew my mind. Please expose lies that I have been believing about myself, about you. Please expose lies. And I will tell you, he will. He will. I have had this as a prayer challenge for a while. And I will tell you, when you read his word and just through things throughout your journey that he brings to you, he will show you, hey, do you see this? Let's correct this a little bit. And he will renew your mind and he will guide you. And it's just a comfort to know that is who God is. He is a gracious shepherd. That he takes that rod and just nudges you along tenderly. He's just not he's not a mean God. It's not who he is. And I just wanted to share that and just really encourage you to think on those things. Because I'm going to tell you, it's not easy. It's not easy to renew and transform your mind. It takes time. But I will tell you, when you start and are intent on it and changing that, you do see results that are like, wow. It's very encouraging to see how he can use that. So I just wanted to share that a little bit. Start replacing those bad labels, those lies that you have. Remove them. Even though they hurt, even though it stings, even though it pulls your hair, even though it may pull the hair of some other people. A lot of people assume things and criticize things that are it's none of their business, but they will assume things of you. And that's another thing. You have to remove that label. You have to remove the label of what others think of you and replace that with what God truly thinks of you. And it takes some time to heal that spot. You have to rub it and massage it and put those lotions on it of healing and truth in God's word. And it will grow and it will come back. That dead skin, that flakiness, and it will still produce. But it takes work. But it's worth it. And so I hope those are just some tidbits that may encourage you to think, but that you will truly think on those verses when you hear them, whatever things are true, whatever things are pure, whatever things are right and lovely, praiseworthy, noble, valuable. Think on these things. Meditate. I did a video a while back. Meditate on these things. And meditating means bringing it back. It's not just one time and then it's in your subconscious mind. No, it's keep thinking about it. That is how you make that new railroad, by meditating on something. And if you want more info, I would encourage you to look at Dr. Caroline Leaf. She is on YouTube. How to Detox Your Brain, parts 1 through 4. She is a Christian scientist that I have just in the last few months. For previously, I've not read her book yet. I want to. But she ties it right to Scripture. And so many times now, reading through the Bible, I just see it. You will choose life or you will choose death. Your thoughts truly are things in your brain. They are real things. And she shows you that. And so when you even let a little smidgen of a lie take root in your brain, it will seriously grow. And it really changes the connection and the nerve growth in your brain. It's a very convicting thought. And it's just proof that the Lord knew exactly how to write the Bible, to renew and transform your mind. And so I will be done now. And I'll probably jump back on it sometime again. But thanks for listening.